Joanne, thanks for joining us on First.
My pleasure to be here.
So you and other health officials are been here in Delaware. Who are you talking to, and what is your message?
Well, we were here in Delaware a couple of weeks ago, and the message was to let people know about the pre-existing condition insurance plan. That's a plan for people who have a pre-existing condition, who haven't had insurance for 6 months, and who have been denied coverage because of their pre-existing condition. So we came to Delaware to tell people about that so we could really encourage more people to get into the program.
Got it. So different from our neighbor in Pennsylvania, it sounds the federal government is running the program in Delaware. So far, only about 40 people have signed up. Was there some miscommunication in enrolling people early on? What's going on?
No, I don't think there's miscommunication. It's just a matter of getting people the information and letting them know that it's out there. The program has only been in existence for about 6 months, and we're seeing the same thing when we started the CHIP program originally, which is the Children's Health Insurance Program. That had a very slow startup too. It really is just getting the word out and making sure people become aware of the program.
Tell us about the cost. If I'm eligible, I've waited my 6 months, or I haven't had insurance for 6 months, how much does it cost me?
It depends on age, but it varies anywhere from about $181 a month to about $578 per month. And again, that depends on your age. But that premium is what would be charged if you were a healthy individual in that same market, if you were buying your own individual insurance.
I wanted to ask about that because the deductible is about $2,000. There's a $500 deductible if you have medicines before your coverage kicks in. Is that a good deal for people who have these kinds of pre-existing conditions?
I think it's a good deal if you have a pre-existing condition. We're talking about people who've had cancer, diabetes, heart disease, strokes, really debilitating conditions who otherwise would have no insurance and have extreme out-of-pocket costs. So I understand for some people $500 a month or so may seem high, but what you get in terms of hospitalization and coverage and medication is well worth the price.
Got it. Let's step back a little bit. We're at year one. Let's do a status report. There has been some confusion about the plan. There was a survey from the Kaiser Family Foundation, and as many as 26% of Americans think the law has been repealed. On top of that, there's been some constitutional challenges. What's the status of those court challenges?
Sure. As you know, there were 3 challenges that showed that the judges ruled that the law was constitutional. 2 where the judges ruled that it was unconstitutional, and 12 that got dismissed outright. For the 2 that got ruled that the law was unconstitutional, that of course sets up an appeal. It'll be appealed by either the U.S. Court of Appeals or probably ultimately the U.S. Supreme Court. But we're set up at the moment, I think, to head toward appeal.
Okay, the law is in existence.
But the law is in existence. It is the law. It's being implemented in all 50 states, including here in Delaware. It's the law, and we believe it will remain the law.
Okay. We talked about the pre-existing conditions insurance plan. That's one thing that's already being rolled out. Tell us about other things that are already on the ground and being implemented.
There are a number of other things already being implemented. First and foremost, young adult coverage for anyone under the age of up to 26. So if you're a young adult, you can stay on your parents' plan, again, up to the age of 26. We also have what became true as of January 1st, free preventive services for any senior citizen under Medicare. If they hit that Medicare Part D donut hole, it's a 50% discount on brand name drugs, 7% discount on generic drugs. What also took effect in 2010, small business tax credits. Another program that went into effect in 2010, the Early Retiree Reinsurance Program. That's for people between the ages of 55 and 64.
Let's stop and talk a little bit more about that one. I think people know about the age 26 thing, keeping your kids on your plan. Tell me more about that last one.
So the Early Retiree Reinsurance Program is for people between the ages of 55 and 64 whose companies had already been paying for their insurance, people who are not yet qualified for Medicare. An employer can apply to the federal government to have the federal government pick up 80% of the cost for those early retirees whose premiums they were covering. Here in Delaware, 10 employers have taken advantage of this program, including the City of Wilmington and the State of Delaware. What that does, of course, is it frees up funds now into the general fund so that can be used for other programs. But in essence, the federal government is now picking up 80% of the premiums for those retirees for their health insurance.
Also, there's new rules for covering children with pre-existing conditions.
That's right.
New, and tell us more about that.
Right, that went into effect September 23rd of 2010. If you're a child up to the age of 19, you can no longer be denied insurance if you have a pre-existing condition.
Got it. I spoke with Delaware's insurance commissioner, and she says she's a little concerned about her ability to protect Delawareans if insurance companies don't step up and do what they're supposed to do. A lot of these changes have to do with what insurance companies, new rules for insurance companies. If people have complaints or they have problems, what is their recourse?
Well, in fact, we gave the state of Delaware to the insurance department over $2.2 million for a number of programs, including a consumer assistance program. And the whole point of that office is to assist consumers with navigating through the process of how they get insurance, or for any denials they've received or any appeals they'd like to make. So that will be set up within Delaware's Department of Insurance.
Are most states having to enact their own state laws to match the federal laws, and is that necessary?
Depends on the state. Obviously, most states, though, do have to pass legislation to enact the exchanges, which will also take effect as of 2014. The exchanges are the competitive marketplace where individuals or small businesses will be able to go to now to compete, to look at get insurance at a competitive price.
Okay. There's also some things that are happening between now and 2014. So we need to tell a lot more people that they may be eligible for Medicaid coming in 2014. What kind of support is the federal government giving states to make that transition?
Well, again, the $2.2 million we've given here in Delaware, it is to the insurance department for that kind of assistance, to help set up the exchange, to set up the consumer assistance program, and other ways to make the citizens informed about the options that are going to be available to them.
Great. It sounds like Delaware officials have a lot of decisions ahead of them.
They do.
Joanne, thank you for joining us on First.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Joanne Grossi of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. For more